my God, it just really gutted me. And I felt so bad about myself. I felt so ugly. I felt so defeminized. And I don't know, I think I put a lot of worth in my looks. Hi, my name is Sean. This is my first sit and talk video ever, and I'm filming it on my iPhone so I can see myself. I'm so sorry if that distracts you, but I'm going to try to look at the camera as best as possible. I was looking for skincare tips from women who are diagnosed with PCOS. And there's a bunch on YouTube, don't get me wrong. If you don't know, PCOS happens to a lot of women. And I believe that there are even women out there who don't know that they have PCOS. But I wanted to see the perspective from someone who was recently diagnosed with it. I do believe, though, that I've had it for a while. I just never had the courage to go to the doctor and get my symptoms or my diagnosis defined, because I knew that if I was aware of that, I had to be responsible in reversing it, which is exactly what I've been trying to do with my life ever since the diagnosis. Okay, so first of all, what is PCOS? PCOS it stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it's pretty much an over excess of hormones. I don't want to define it. I'm just going to write it down and show you guys, but I don't want to memorize it in my head because, again, maybe it's part of me that is still in denial. I just want to listen to my body and kind of talk to you guys about the symptoms that I've been experiencing. And so the first symptom that I saw was irregular periods. My periods, if this is TMI, sorry about it, but that's what it is. I would have my period for 3 weeks straight, and then I would skip for 2 to 3 months. And then I would have my period for a week or two, and then I would skip for 6 months. And then I would have my period for 4 weeks, for a whole entire month. And then I would skip for 8 months. Periods and menstrual cycles are linked to hormones. And so I knew that there was something out of whack with my hormones. I also experienced a lot of acne, severe cystic acne, the ones that are deep underneath your skin and the ones that actually really hurt. I remember going to the dermatologist 2 to 3 years ago, just kind of wondering why this is happening, because my parents don't have bad skin. No one in my family has bad skin. But for some reason it was happening to me, and I clean my face all the time. I'm faithfully every night. But I don't know. That was another red flag anyway. The next one was excessive hair growth, which a lot of women experience. And I think it's 2019. There's a space for us to feel open about saying, hey, I have hair and I'm a woman and that's okay. But in terms of excessive hair growth, I was growing hair where this part is. And of course, as a 20-year-old or 22-year-old at the time, I was like, what is happening? I hate this. I hate myself. I hate how I look. Why am I growing hair right there? And then I remember a specific moment when my dad, I visited them in California, and he was like, hey, you're growing a beard. And I was like, oh my God, it just really gutted me. And I felt so bad about myself. I felt so ugly. I felt so defeminized. And I don't know, I think I put a lot of worth in my looks and in the way that people perceive me. And I didn't want to be perceived as someone who had a beard. And again, this is all because of PCOS. The last straw was when I noticed excessive weight gain. Now I've always been the big girl. Not saying, like, I've always been the big girl because I've been around Asians, and Asian people are normally not big. I've always accepted that about myself, ever since I was young, just because I've experienced it since I was young. But I've never truly reached the 200s until recently. And it was weird because I was eating the same. I was not that sedentary. I always moved, at least at work, because I'm required to walk around at work. And so when I was gaining weight, I was really confused because I wasn't doing anything else. At first, I kind of blamed age. I was like, oh, you're getting old, and so you have to take care of what you eat. I tried to change that, and I did, but I was still gaining weight, and it was so confusing and frustrating to be doing so many things and then having a digression of what you want to change. And after that, I literally just went to the doctor and I was like, what is going on? But I had to ask the Lord for a lot of courage, because again, I didn't want to be defined as someone with PCOS. I still don't define myself as that, but I didn't want for there to be a specific thing that I had to like pinpoint and be like, oh, this is it, and these are the steps to reverse it. But I finally in my life was like, enough is enough. You have to deal with it. I went to the doctor, diagnosed with PCOS, and then I looked it up, cried a little bit in my car, and that was that. Like, here I am. And so, long story short, I guess I wanted to share the process of my skincare routine as a person who is finally recognizing that I have PCOS. The first thing that we have to take care of if you have PCOS, or just in general, like, we have to take care of our diet. I have been limiting for the last, I know it doesn't look like it, but I was just recently diagnosed, so I'm just now like changing my lifestyle. But the first thing that I cut out, or tried to cut out, and I'm still trying to cut out for the past, I think 2 months now, is dairy. Dairy is so bad for me and for a lot of people. I know that it's so good for the soul, and it just makes you feel like you're at home every time you eat cheese. But dairy is so bad. I don't know why it's bad. I just know that it's bad. I don't like to research things. I know that that's, but I just know that it does something wrong for me. I break out specifically around this area, and it's terrible. I hate it because that's where my excess hair growth is. That's where all my acne is. And I'm like, if I keep eating dairy, right, and I keep seeing what it's doing to me, and I continuously do it, there's something that's not right in the mind. So I cut out dairy. The next thing is, I have not cut out, and I will never cut out, but I have cut down on sugar. I have a sweet tooth, but I recognize that when I eat it, again, my skin just breaks out right here. And then the last thing, I'm taking really small steps, by the way, and focusing on one small thing at a time. And so right now I'm really focusing on my skin and seeing where I go from there. But I've been drinking a lot of water. I know that there's been like a trend of drinking water out of those gallon plastic bottles thingies, which is great. Yeah, do it. But there is like too much of anything is a bad thing. I've been doing it because my weight is allowing that. If anything, I have to actually drink more, so I'm trying to drink more. I know people say I don't like to drink a lot of water because I have to go to the bathroom a lot, but you can only make so many excuses. Like, if you have to drink water so that your skin looks good and your body is hydrated, and your metabolism is regulated, don't make excuses. Like, you can only make so many. until it doesn't work anymore. So yeah, first diet had to change just a little bit, but again, I'm making small changes at a time so that it sticks and it's more sustainable for my lifestyle. So for the next part is probably why you clicked on this video. You wanted to see the products that I use. And so I'll go ahead and introduce those to you.
I'm doing my best, still find myself stressed, and I'm no longer sure where I belong. I'm starting to rust, don't know who to trust.